So now we have a recording started which makes this become instantly telepathic. It's so much more fun in a way for me to be able to share with people that speak English, but I do a lot of this work for people in Thai when Perry translates. And those journeys take more time. They're more carefully done because I got to say so much and then she has to translate. And I got to say so much and she has to translate. It has to move forward in dynamic ways. As you know, Albert, they do. You're on those journeys.
Some of them know English.
A few of them know, yeah, bits of it, some more than others. But they
Yeah.
need the translation work, just like I would if I was in Thailand. I wouldn't know what they were talking about. Unless somebody translated for me, I wouldn't. When we're out of our bodies, as the Atma, the spherical being we really are, what people call soul without knowing the first thing about what it is, or even where it is. It's who they are running that body, and they have no clue that's what they're doing. None. And that's the majority of people on Earth right now. Not a clue. Because fear is in the way of them remembering. That's all that's in the way. Fear is artificial and implanted. Didn't just happen with reptilians or greys abducting people or any of that since 1950. That was done out in the universe in the last 500,000 years. They aren't doing it anymore, thank God, but people are left with the negative effect of it.
Mm.
That's the problem. The programs are still there. In this work, we learn how to gain mastery of choice, of free will, to dominate programs that are subconscious, because that's what makes us stronger and wakes us up. Having them just taken away without any wisdom or experience to know how to never be trapped again would be useless. People would be set free and they'd trap themselves all over again in a day. We'd be right back where we started. It doesn't work like that. So it becomes telepathic, which means the hue expansion ray from the source behind all life itself is flowing through master teachers and through me to you. So it can pass through you for your benefit and on past you for the benefit of others, including on its way charging this area. And you mentioned, Albert, a little bit over here, a little bit over here, a little bit over there. And then it starts connecting to certain pyramids on Earth. It starts to spread a field of energy outward. More people that are awake on Earth, the more quickly the transformation takes place. It is required. The beings I work with are no better than to try to wake people up on Earth with no preparation or any creative participation on their part. They'll just destroy themselves anyway. It wouldn't help. So when I've said to all of you that there's no negative nature in this work whatsoever, I meant every word of it. There isn't any. None. If you step out into the fear, then it's positive and negative, good and bad, drained left, drained right, grounded into the earth, half power, half thrusters. That doesn't work. It can't work. People can't get up and put their head above the ocean waves of the negativity in the atmosphere of the planet. They can't even, there's no place they can put their head above it. They're surrounded by it. So that is something that is easy peasy stuff for Galactic Alliance personnel to neutralize on a planetary scale. Getting rid of ancient amoebas and certain protozoas and viruses and bacteria that were around before humans were even brought here need to be removed from people and this earth because they aren't allowed to exist on other worlds. They're in competition with higher forms of life. And it's time for them to be retired. They've done their job. To have them still around like we have on Earth competing with human beings is a constant conflict about who will win. Because life forms like that would take over to leech off human beings until it kills you and them as well. It's the nature of people on Earth. They would eat themselves to death in competition here, just like bacteria and viruses that invade their bodies do, until they destroy themselves with it. See, this is just programs. This isn't our nature. It's not who we are. We're not meant to be like that. The first thing we want to do is imagine someone you love and respect. You're grateful they are in your life. Person, place, or thing, but make it genuine. Could be a hummingbird, a child's smile, a lover. It could be anything. A master teacher, a Tyrellian, anybody. Because if you're focusing on someone that has no subconscious mind, then you're connecting and rubbing shoulders with that energy that passes through them, that then passes through you. It's kinetic. It's energetic. It's like a river. You're dying of thirst outside of this river until you finally crawl to the edge of the river and plunge into it and drink your fill of clean H2O, spring water, whatever. But if you don't make it to the river, you just die on the beach and dry up and you're dead and gone. It's that way with the hue too, because what we are that's really alive is the hue. Not a physical body of atoms and molecules and DNA. Those are just devices. They're devices that are designed to work so you can perceive and enjoy life in a particular parallel dimension made of matter of a particular planet like Earth. In fact, all the DNA of the twin-stranded people on Earth was never developed here. It never came out of the swamps. It's all theory. Didn't come from Cro-Magnon or Neanderthal. Didn't come from birds who became reptiles or that then dwindled to become humans popping out of the ground like mushrooms. Of course not. Human beings didn't evolve on this planet in the first place. So the Garden of Eden has never been on Earth. It never was in the past. It was out there in the greater God, far, far away. Another galaxy, another time, another space, not here. They're never going to find those kinds of things on this planet because they don't exist here. They never did. What people are focusing on in their belief system are places that they once knew or that existed. What they don't know is they're not going to find it on Earth, and it's not going to be brought back to this planet. No. People need to go out into the greater God and explore. That's our nature. And as long as they're not doing that, they're going to have to do it even when they pass away, because the hue will move through them anyway. It continues with us. It doesn't stop here. That's the fortunate part, which means that now that you've crossed paths with what we're calling the hue expansion ray, it's not reversible. It's not about your misguided free will determining you don't want it or will want it, because that's just misdirected, fear-based. It's not free will at all. So people don't have free will on Earth. They have to get that awakened up so they can choose wisely without fear. That's free will. And if people don't have that, they can't choose wisely. It's impossible. So what people call grace has to be brought to this planet from the greater God they pray to every day. But not in the way they want to rigidly force on this source, because it can't be fit into a mold of belief. It's as vast as the universe you see behind me in the picture. There's just no limit to it. You can't hold it in your hands. You can't take the hue and hold it in your hands. It's an energy that is not graspable by human hands. It is what we are. It is who we are. Let's send out the hue 5 times together. I'll do it with vocal cords. You do it with your perfect voices of the Atma inside. And we'll make this connection to a vortex that's waiting for us. As we do it, you're going to become aware. If you're aware, if you pay attention, you're going to begin to perceive a couple, a galactic alliance couple in this case, human, 4-stranded DNA. They actually have bodies that they've left to be with us to go on the journey. So they come to you in a form you can see like you show them. About 36 years of age, flawless, perfect. If you're a woman, beautiful. Man, handsome. Extraterrestrially nicely dressed, let's put it that way. And they will hover beside you near the ceiling to keep your fears turned off while you go on the journey. So when you return, you can bring back to your body and life on Earth something that is not on Earth. There's not enough of it in the atmosphere. You have to bring more of it here. That's our job. We're supposed to be trustworthy custodians and caretakers of worlds and planets and galaxies. Of course we are. Now, do you see anybody on Earth doing their job? No. They're afraid to do that, and that's the problem. I will send out the hue now, and I will turn off your mics from my end in order to get a better recording quality and no internet interference from other internet servers, etc. What's happening when we do this? The hue was set up in the beginning by all of us, specifically to work with higher forms of human beings that we have on Earth, but it works through the pineal gland, the center of the human brain, of a two-stranded human DNA body. When we start working with this, it begins to trigger a doorway in the pineal gland that maybe hasn't been worked or used, not in this lifetime, or maybe in many bodies with pineal glands, in billions of years. Because the hue, as it moves through us and we cross paths with it now, does something to you, permanent. Because the only way it can ever get any of you to become a co-creator, which we were meant to do a long time ago, is to master or get free of fear altogether. This is our nature and it's our destiny. To be free of fear permanently. Also, we gain the wisdom from the hue expansion ray when it moves through us now, that imparts a certain wisdom so that we will never be vulnerable to be trapped again, put on a planet with no memory, stuffed in a body without our consent, or any of that nonsense. That old, what do you call it? That old statement or that old rhyme, it no longer applies to any practical nature anywhere in the universe. It's pointless. Rounds of births and deaths, it's pointless. What? How are you going to learn anything from one life to the next if you don't remember anything from one life to the next? You can't. It's a trap. So we're being worked out of that trap by beings not from Earth that know what they're doing, that know how to help us do that, so that we gain it back ourselves in the process. They can give us help over hurdles, give us a boost of hue energy to get over a hurdle we can't get over on our own, but they only do that when they know we'll keep what is given to us, or they won't do it. It's a waste of time and energy. And this is why the world Earth that you see has stayed the way it is for so long. There's not enough hue charge from source in the atmosphere of this planet to change anything much. That is changing. There's more pouring into the planet now. It's the only reason you see balanced tariffs and other things taking place. The end of 8 wars and almost the end of the last one. If you don't get rid of wars, you can't have a transformation now, can you? Wars are created from fear. Nothing else, ever. There's no logic or real purpose to them. They don't accomplish anything but destruction. And then they come to an end, somebody wins. and the planet stays the same. It can't stay the same anymore. There won't be any life here. So you're up near the ceiling, hovering there, looking down on your body. That's as easy as you imagining going to the store. No big deal. The sound of this deep humming, almost like thunder but gentle, no lightning, is flowing down through your ceiling, right through you, and through the two spherical beings projecting bodies that look about your age, 36, that we show each other. These aren't human bodies. They're projections from the core of our being. It's how we show and interrelate with other beings instead of just bouncing around as balls of light, running through each other or around each other in the sound and light in the Prime Creator. See, things function there differently than here. Creativity on multidimensional levels is maintained from there. All of us are still there and have never left. The rest is like a mock-up. It's like levels of dimensionality for experimentation and exploration, to learn to bring about the wisdom to change the lower worlds of time and space into benevolent mirrors of the upper realities. This was our job. We failed. It failed completely, and it's been failing for billions of years. And now things are starting to wake up, and it's starting to be changed. So that the creation that's fine, meaning galaxies and doorways and portals and dimensions and silent mentors running all of that, that's all fine, nothing wrong with it. But the beings running bodies are screwed up in a lot of it, below the void. Not awake. This has to change. The idea of destroying all that exists in the lower dimensions, pulling all the atoms up above the void, rebuilding it down below, and then sticking them back there has been done several times already in several 100 billion years. And each time, after a billion years, everybody's right in the same pickle, the same fix, the same nonsense, the same Maya or illusion. They don't remember who they are or why they exist. When we're near the ceiling, you can look down and see your body in the trance state called sleep. That's easy stuff. You put your body in that every night. I do. What people on Earth are not taught, deliberately not taught yet, is that they leave their body every night. It's like practice for when the body no longer works anymore. You've already been experts at it your whole life growing up, but you haven't known it. That's the problem. You're doing it, but you're not conscious of it. That's the problem. You should be. Fear is the only thing on some level you don't know is there that's in the way of this. Nothing else. Nothing else ever has to be given up in eternity except fear. It was meant to be deleted or erased after a time, when it's no longer necessary, as a cattle prod to teach people spiritual logic in the right way. The old idea was bring someone's feet close to the fires of hell and they'll run away from the fires in the right direction. That backfired. It didn't work. People got more caught up in the mystery of why they think evil is a genius until they got caught up in it. Evil's not a genius. It's twisted genius. It's abnormal, perverted, misdirected normalcy. That's what evil is. The energy flowing through the ceiling brightens, and you hear a snap like the pop of a cork. And you find yourself in space in a circle of beings around Ambassador Trellian. This is easy stuff. It's just in outer space outside of Earth's atmosphere. In the omnipresent hue, expansion ray, the omnipresent sound behind creation, has a sound nature to it and a light nature to it. The sound comes first. The light is manifested from the sound after that, so that we can see what we're doing and where we're going. When we see as an Atma, we see in every direction, not with physical eyes, but with the energy of the you connected to all the energy of the you everywhere else and everything else. It's an instant connection. This is normal. Master Ramu is by the earth. You know what he looks like. Master Opelum's on the other side, to my right. Margaret's to the left. Alpenix to the right of Opelum. Vince is a little further on the other side opposite me. Hi, Vince. We're waving. No big deal. And Lee's actually standing right next to Terrellian today. Who knows why? He's a big, tall guy. You're just like a little feminine presence there. But the Atma you are hovering above, it looks like Terrellian. It's just that he's bigger than us and brighter. But that's about it. The 18-foot tall body of Terrellian shows us. Nice white gown on, slightly wavy blonde hair to his shoulders, big blue eyes, bigger than Earth human. Slightly pointed ears like an elf. He's holding his closed fist with 2 thumbs up. There's no more positive sign than thumbs up. That's it. Onward and upward, so to speak. So the hue coming through him from above, beings above him, is coming from source, particularly from Sat Nam, from the Atma plane, and then down through him, and creating an oval, transparent golden light around us. It has a humming sound to it. It's made of the energy of the hue of space, constructed into a form. This is not a physical molecular form or DNA. This is energy. The omnipresent void of space is not a void. It's pure, powerful, conscious living energy. It supports things like molecules and atoms and suns and explosions and stars and male and female and body forms that are types of machines developed by the Say rays actually billions of years, long time ago. They nurtured these forms up to where an Atma could run them to the point where they were spacefaring capable races. And then the Say rays vanished to see what we would do with it. This is not known to people on Earth. It's before any religion ever got formed on Earth, vastly before any of that. And then they went through a change that brought Terrellian to the point of voluntarily being the central focus of our journeys. Because he has no subconscious mind. He was never born on Earth. I don't think he's ever stepped foot on the planet. It's not time for that. Their race immortalized their bodies as an entire race on many worlds over 1 billion years ago. They had 12-stranded human DNA. We get our prototype DNA from them. They were responsible for constructing these types of bodies. There was no natural evolution to them. There's beings involved in creating more dynamic change and an evolution of a physical form to a higher form that an Atma could run higher faculties through. That was the idea. That was the whole purpose. And when an Atma forgets who and what it is and where it came from, then it's like the body's running the Atma because it believes it is the source of the life that it has. It isn't. So, up above Ambassador Terrellian, you see a big spherical energy being. Has all the layers we have. Actually, a few more than we have. The mentors or teachers of the Say rays are the silent mentors themselves. They were the first to ever have direct instruction or training from silent mentors. Silent mentors are beings that run the mechanics of creation through all the dimensions, through the void, Satnam's realm, 6th realm, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, Agam Purusha's realm, ocean of sound and light, prime creator source, the silent mentor realm above that, and the hue expansion ray plane beyond that. And above Terrellian is hovering in their 3-foot-long bodies, standing upright on their hind legs with their tail glowing like crystal opal in bright sunlight, Etta and Din, Drens. Opelum to my right, that's his home world. Oceana, it's on the other side of the galaxy, down halfway down the 7th spiral arm opposite where Earth is, about 2/3 down one of the spiral arms of our galaxy. It is in the 3rd higher parallel dimension of the physical universes. It's not astral, and you wouldn't find it if you flew in a spaceship from here to where it is. It'd be a different Oceana. Still in the physical universe. And Etta comes from that world. The Drens evolved there in huge volcanic chutes emptied out millions of years ago, hundreds of millions of years ago. They're hollowed out interiors, luminous with a phosphorescent mineral, a phosphorescent algae, and the interior is half a mile wide, half a mile high, many miles long. The emptied out chute travels up the incline of a mountain, base of a mountain at the bottom of the Oceana ocean, and ends in a couple of oval islands near the equator. The rest of the planet is entirely ocean covered, no polar ice caps. 4 times bigger than Earth. Several moon bodies orbiting it with no polar ice caps, the size of Earth, with domed cities on them. They orbit a trinary star system on the other side of the galaxy. Most of the stars in our galaxy are that way. That is even known in scientific circles, even in the unclassified community on Earth today. But it's not much discussed. What's the point? Most people can't understand it anyway. And the beings who know this is true barely understand it themselves. We are in the flow of the source behind all life. We always have been. It is an omnipresent, neutral, living, conscious power. It doesn't have will to determine to end evil by itself. Understand, we collectively make up the source. It has a presence. You can speak with it. It's not a guy on a throne or a girl on a throne. There's no throne. There's no physical forms there of any kind, not astral, causal, mental, etheric, or anything else. It is who we are. Above Etta Din is Light Sea. Venerable Master, looks Asian, fairly short, little Fu Manchu beard, blue eyes, not brown or black. This is an etheric form he's showing you. Looks human, well dressed, but he only has a body that he's running on the etheric plane, and he works in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. In that big pyramid is the guardian of the Tree of Life there. That's connected to the Tree of Life in Agam Purushan's realm, many, many dimensions above there. The barriers, the energy between planes above the void aren't distinctly like you cross a doorway, there's a guard and a gate opens and you go through. It's very subtle. You move from one dimension to another without even hardly noticing your change, except your consciousness changes as you move through them upward. And above Light Sea is Satnam, who's come down here from the Atma plane to escort us on this journey. Turelian does that, I do it, we do it together. It's what we do, collectively. And Satnam has got his little white tunic dress on, gown from the waist down to his bare feet, 2 gold bracelets on each of his uppers, strongly built, ripped, about 36, bronze skin, golden eyes, not yellow, bald, looks like he's from India, but he's not. It's the form he chooses to show us. That's his choice. That's all there is to it. Above him is hovering a much larger Atma, like a silent mentor, but brighter white light in a sense. Has all the layers of the silent mentor, but this is a guardian or governor of the Atma plane. To each side of him are 2 sets of couples of silent mentors, alternating male, female, male, female. Long hair to their shoulders, each of a different color. Blue, green, red, yellow. Different colored pastel gown covering their form. Bare feet. You look in their different colored skin. You look in their eyes. Face, they don't see facial features. It's a bright white light, like an oval of light with hair coming out of it. When you look into their facial features, even from where you are in the circle around Turelian, you see galaxies upon levels, slightly less bright hue in one dimension, slightly less bright. It goes down from the void and gets a little more dull by the time it reaches the physical universe. Still there. It's just generated down through these interdimensional doorways to support a molecular time rate of matter that is slower than the one above it. Pretty simple cosmic physics. It is silent mentors, these two couples, and who they represent, that run the mechanics of creation. They do not intermingle with or take on students to teach them like a master teacher would in some cases. We rub shoulders with them when we're in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. Above Satnam is this vast, hourglass-shaped, golden white, whirling clockwise slowly, luminous doorway, interdimensional portal. Way up at the other end, you can see, bypassing the lower planes of time and space, all of them, right into the pale cobalt blue atmosphere of the void itself, because it connects directly to it. These silent mentors, these two couples, are holding this vortex in place. This is easy stuff for them. Easy stuff. The energy coming down through this doorway is a white golden light, brighter than anything below it. And it comes down through these beings and through Turelian out as closed fists with thumbs up, and it creates this oval, transparent, like the hull of a spaceship around us. And Turelian takes one of his thumbs up and points it out between the Earth and the Moon, and we're instantly beamed in a bright teardrop-shaped light out into space, clear above the Milky Way galaxy. And we're in space looking at all the other galaxies out there, and the nearest one is Andromeda, a little bigger than ours, a spiral galaxy. And you see our galaxy with globular clusters, little round galactic star clusters up above it. I think there are 3. And then we're suddenly hovering over the 7th spiral arm of the galaxy, halfway down it from the core, looking down at some point of light that's quite bright. And then we're suddenly hovering above planet Oceana. We see a luminous atmosphere, blue, tinged with a teeny bit of, it's kind of like a blue tinged with pink and lavender clouds. Water covered. The whole ocean is calm and luminous. It's 4 times bigger than Earth. And there are 2 oval islands near the equator. When you look out in space, you can see several worlds the size of Earth orbiting this planet. The moons are the size of Earth. And there are a few of these domed cities covering pyramids. They're functional devices and other things. And you look out in space and you realize this planet and its moons is orbiting in a place around a trinary star system we see in the distance. 3 suns, great big blue hot one, big yellow one, much bigger than Earth, and I think there's a red dwarf out there. Well, anyway, and you see Opelum move from our circle and head out in front of, outside of this oval around us, and he moves down the atmosphere. We follow him. Turelian is moving this group of people. We move through the atmosphere and we realize that all of the molecules in the water vapor are glowing. We come out the other end and we see this brilliant golden beach curved way around this big island. big jungle trees, luminous. Branches, leaves, trunks, all luminous. Then you see Opellum suddenly hovering above the ocean waves, several hundred yards off to the left. Turellian is just offshore, standing up to his knees in this water with his two thumbs up. He loves to do that. Loves to stand in ocean water that's charged. He knows what he's doing. And a group of us are all around Turellian, and you see Opellum drop right into the ocean, straight down. And we follow him down several miles to the bottom of the Oceanan Ocean. Everything's luminous here. It's a fully charged planetary atmosphere and water system. You see a big dome covering 3 pyramids, golden-sided, quartz-capped in the background third. 2/3, halfway around the backside is a small mountain range with little glowing waterfalls coming out of cavern openings that are flowing in little rivers down into an oval, blue-green, luminous lake. Just off to the center, off to the third, these 3 pyramids in the background in triangular formation. There's a long, elongated oval down about 1/3 of the way as high as the pyramids in between them. That's his research center. Little domed ivory-colored dwellings in the countryside and little white stone pathways weaving around and through them. And you turn to the left and we see a long, huge volcanic chute, kind of an oval volcanic crust moving along the base of this ocean, going up the side of the slopes of a mountain. It was what created those 2 islands, as though those are really the tip of a mountain, 2 peaks. And inside you can see on the side of this a vertical half-sphere clear window looking into a living room. Etta Din's home looks out to this domed city. And then we suddenly pass right through it and we find ourselves all standing around Turellian on a blue stone path winding in the distance. We're in a chamber, half a mile high, half a mile wide, many miles behind us. And 400 or 500 yards ahead of us is a central circular oval white stone meeting floor. In the back of this curved area of this chamber is a blue-green waterfall coming out of an open cavern opening. 3-tiered waterfall dropping down 50 feet into a long, luminous blue-green lake. Extends many miles, way out into the distance, where it drops down an opening. It doesn't go out to the ocean. It drops down an opening and it's recycled back out of that cavern. Around each side of the cavern are vertical, semi-spherical, clear domes covering individual dome living rooms of Drens. And little furniture looks almost human, but more sophisticated. And then we see Etta Din hovering in front of us, about 4 feet off the ground, 3 feet from the root of their glowing tail like crystal opal in bright sunlight, smiling with their big bulbous blue eyes, their long, cute little snouts, green, pale green skin, not slimy. They got a thumb and 4 fingers, and same with their toes like a human. Strongly built. Din is more feminine, bigger eyelashes, that kind of thing. And they have their 2 Dren children who are grown up adults here. This is present time on Oceana. This is their home. In between all of these domes around this huge curved cavern wall that is luminous like sunlight on the surface It's a self-contained ecosystem. The plants here are very powerful. They produce the oxygen and take all the carbon dioxide out. The Drens have a system. They don't go to the bathroom in their own water. They're very different. And off to the left, Din points with her hand and tells you, in her voice, this is Etta and my home away from home. And there's about 4 feet, it's about maybe a dozen feet high on the left wall of this chamber. And there's a little ivory white smooth pathway going into an oval tunnel that leads up into it. And that's their home in this central Dren city of Oceanan. They're sharing it with us. On the surface and at the bottom of this ocean are the Oceanan, humanoid or human beings. They have a symbiotic relationship with them. 500,000 years ago, the Drens had a guttural language. They could still levitate. They evolved naturally and organically because their molecular structure is silica-based, not carbon. They're able to set up a charge around their crystalline structure of their cells and their tail to create an electromagnetic field around their bodies, particularly the tail, and they can levitate and fly through the air. There are individual crystalline growths of every imaginable gem on Earth, and many not known on Earth, growing dozens of feet long, a dozen feet wide, like rubies and sapphires and emeralds, and that have been there for millions of years in between all of these domes. Beautiful place. And each of those crystals has a luminance around it. It's charged. And we all suddenly find ourselves in outer space, high above the Milky Way galaxy. And we look up and we realize this vortex above us is still there. It followed us here. And we're in a circle around Lemriel. And you look up and see Oceanan receding up into the bottom of this hourglass-shaped vortex, and we follow him. And he darts upward, and we dart upward after him. We come out the other end. Almost instantly, the sound of a single note playing from a hauntingly beautiful melody from very high is what we hear. We're in a cobalt blue space, quite bright. I call it pale blue because that's how I describe the color, but it's brilliant compared to anything in the lower worlds, even the etheric plane. And we're moving upward in a spiral with Lemriel, following Oceanan and the silent mentors, until we suddenly stop to hover over a long, wide, diamond-like sandy beach, glowing a foot above the sands. It extends itself as far as you can see in each direction, and then curves in on itself, as if this beach, which it does, circles a huge circular floating landmass. The jungle trees behind this beach are glowing, and they're transparent. Every tree you can imagine, including fruit trees. And hovering above them are these birds about a foot long V-shaped split tails, twin sets of bird wings, big bulbous blue eyes, kind of like a blue jay almost. And above them is hovering a massive Atma, 4 times bigger than us, twice as many teardrop-shaped layers of faculties. And then they open their mouths, and these male and female birds begin to sing. The energy of the you comes through them from the Atma above these forms they run here. They have vocal cords. They're telepathic. These forms are not physical matter. The energy coming through them is keeping in place and charging the entire void, which is bigger than all the lower worlds combined. It's there to keep the energy that has no negative nature, never did, from the lower worlds of time and space. They begin to sing the hue with vocal cords so pure, male and female, they blend into one round whole tone. And one of them hovers above the form you show each other that looks human, perfect. And an energy is sent from their mouth, singing the hue, right into your forehead and up into the white core of your being. 1 grain from that sand is then levitated off that sand, and Satnam is doing this, hovering above the jungle trees. And it goes right into your forehead and up into the white core of your being, and it makes it brighter. It's charging it. It's charging it with the white diamond-like spherical transparent grains that make that beach up, that look like radiant diamonds, spherical. This will help you remember your life you've long forgotten that exists and still exists in the worlds above the void. So you're going to bring this back to your form on earth. This is why we're here. And Satnam darts across the jungle. We follow him. We're in a group of beings around Turelian, and this time we're going through the fountain that's below us on a 100-foot diameter white stone floor. It's a 15-foot wide, white scalloped edge stone like ivory, scalloped. A circular sitting seat made of the same stone, flat, scrolled legs, 12 of them. And there's a statue of Satnam standing in the middle of this bowl. The white golden shaft of light, like a cylinder of light, is pouring down through the statue, and it's coming out the palms of his hands facing forward at his sides, filling this bowl in a radiant glowing sheet of light that falls down these scalloped edges to disappear between this sitting seat into the lower worlds. The Turelian and all of us in a group dart up this shaft of light and come out the other end. Now we are in a much more luminous realm. The air, the atmosphere of space here is cobalt blue, but much brighter. The diamond-like beach here is also brighter. It circles this huge floating circular landmass that we can see in the distance. The only thing here. Everything else is a cobalt blue space with a golden white light behind it. There's no stars, no planets, no moons, no suns here. They're not necessary. Everything here creates its own light, including us. And then we're darting over to the top of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy Tower, which is in the center, far away in the center of this landmass. There are 6 in a circle, bluestone snow-capped mountains. They circle a blue glass-like cylinder tower, narrows as it goes up to a kind of a slightly flattened oval administration area. It has a fountain in it. It's a blue scalloped stone, much bigger. There's no statue of Satnam in that. Then it goes up to a minaret point. It's transparent blue glass-like material. There's a shaft of white golden light pouring down into this tower, into the fountain and down the shaft. When you look out into the horizon now, because I'm suggesting to you telepathically to look around you in all directions. You look down at the base of these mountains and you see these horseshoe-shaped golden tunnels at the base of all the mountains. A white stone roadway, straight as an arrow, going out all the way to the beach. Passing through vast countrysides, oceans and lakes and waters and mountains and teaching facilities down every road to the right and then to the left and then to the right. Clearings, thousands of them. And in the distance, you see this white diamond-like beach. And out in the distance, because we're hovering above this entire tower now, you can see this a radiant blue, slightly tinged green wave constantly curling and crashing on this beach as it moves clockwise and surrounds the entire landmass, comes back to where it started. This is something the silent mentors do to hold this place in this special parallel dimension created between the top of Satnam's realm and the beginning of the 6th realm. And then we're suddenly looking down the tower itself. You can see right down through it past the fountain. At the base there is a vertical 4-foot high blue stone like lapis lazuli laced with gold, sitting on the base of this disc-shaped white stone. The outer circumference of the tower comes from the outer circumference of this disk up to form its tower above it. And there is a 4-foot in diameter, blue, cobalt blue, transparent, glass-like sphere hovering a foot above this pedestal. There's a cobalt blue, very bright star radiating in the center of it. The energy is being moved into this star from source and then funneled downward directly into the hollowed out interior of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. And we're suddenly projected right down this shaft, through the star, down the shaft. We come out. Tyrellian is standing in the middle of a shaft of light. There's a huge oval-shaped chamber. And there are 12 trees surrounding us near the inner wall of this hollow opening. They're like giant weeping willow trees with broad blue-green spoon-shaped leaves. Standing above the top of them are silent mentors, alternating male and female. Each has a different colored pastel gown. Each has different colored hair, different colored skin, like the spectrum of light in a rainbow. And above them is hovering who they are. A much larger Atma, 4 times larger than us, with twice as many layers of faculties. These are the true silent mentors. It's their true nature. The form they're showing us is what they choose to show. Very few people have ever seen even that form. Because, like I said, they don't intermingle with teaching people in the lower worlds at all. There are 12 beds made of white, about a foot thick, all pointing towards Tyrellian and away from the central axis of that shaft of light to each one of these trees. Each of you find yourself lying on your back with your head towards Tyrellian, your feet facing a male or a female silent mentor, evenly placed around this circle of 12. And then the body form you show each other that's flawless is laid on this bed. You, the Atma, are hovering above it. And then this happens. The sound increases to, it's hard to describe. It's like the high note of a flute, but it has like a melody, like an orchestra running through it. It's moving down through this shaft of light, through Tyrellian, through the Atma is above the form, out to the Atma you are, down into the bodies lying on this, call it a med bed, but it's not a med bed for physical bodies. It's not a med bed even for an etheric body. And it passes up through the trees and up through the silent mentor forms and into the core of their being, and then upward, and beams are sent at an inward angle all the way up to the shaft of light above Tyrellian, where it joins with this shaft of light. And a pulse of energy is sent down through it that spreads out into all of these, like a cone, outward into all of the silent mentors, through their forms, out into the body form you have, up into the Atma you are, and right into Tyrellian's body, up the form he has, right back to source. It moves one way and has a golden tinge to it from Tyrellian. Moves the other way and has a blue-green tinge to it. Comprehension. We are rubbing shoulders in this place with silent mentors. Whatever is there moving through us, it's up to them. Whatever is moving from source through all of these master teachers and then through us to them, that's up to source. It's also up to us who are living there. In the next moment, we find ourselves moving up that same hourglass-shaped light above the tower, and we're shot upward at tremendous speed. We come out into a fiery realm. The fiery realm is the realm of Agam Purusha. It is the being who manages all of the raw power of the hue, regulates it down like a generator into the lower worlds in every direction. The light around us is moving, it's violent. Not that it hurts us, but it's moving in red and green and orange and blue and purple and violet and gold and every color you can think of, whirling up and disappearing, creating gargoylean forms. They're just illusions, passing this way and that way. And then this being approaches us, this massive spherical being. Thousands of layers of colors, just massive. First thing I did when I met Ogden was ask to be his friend. Because I knew he didn't have any, really. Well, did he need them? So this being has approached us to give us permission to go up into what we see now in the distance is the tree of life. It is a massive golden silver kind of tree, like a fir tree, perfectly formed. The branches at the base, the roots are so big they're the size of planets, disappearing below our feet because there's no floor here. The top of the tree, which is transparent, goes beyond vision. There's a shaft of white golden light down this trunk, which is transparent. The sound coming from it comes from the source. So stay with this. Have some courage. He's given us permission, which we have to acquire. And then all of us around Tyrellian are darted inside the shaft of the trunk of the tree. We come out the other end, and we are now in a far more massive, much more brilliant space. Cobalt blue, golden light behind it. Difficult to describe in human terms. And way off in the distance, the center of whatever this place is a single golden silver galaxy turning on its axis. And all of us around Tyrellian are speeding toward this galactic core. This is the ocean of sound and light. This is Source. This is Prime Creator. And as we pass between what we thought were stars that make up what's circling around this core, we find out they are radiant beings, massive, circling a center. And we pass through them and dart to the center, and we're out into the inner third void inside. And you see a white circular disc-shaped island, luminous, brilliant. Hovering above it is a massive sphere, much bigger than Agam, thousands of layers, the more colors than you can ever see on Earth in the spectrum of light. Brilliant white core. And as we pass with Tyrellian between each one of those faculties, they are as far away as 2 stars in space. And we move through them easily. We're suddenly in the center of the very center of this white light. And the atoms we are identical. The white core of our being floating there is identical to the white energy here. Identical, the same. This is how we are individuals within one living energy. The source is not a being on a throne. And then it begins to speak to us. And this is what it telepathically says. You have arrived home. You are still here. Look out and gaze into the wonder of the beings that circle this center. Some of them will light up for you out in different levels. Each one of you are the ones that are lit up. Mr. Lemriel is here. Satnam, all these beings have a personage here, a representation. The energy you bring back from this place is meant for you to bring back to Earth that has no negative nature, so you can co-creatively be involved in beginning to charge its depleted atmosphere and be a spearhead for a transformative change coming to Earth that was been designed above the void. It cannot be reversed, fortunately for all of you. This is who you really are here. Welcome home. Now you must return. The voice is a deep baritone voice with an angelic and feminine quality to it. It's hard to describe. But we recognize it. It's familiar to us. Then he says, you must return or your bodies on Earth would perish. It's too far removed from the lower worlds of time and space. Your purpose is to help transform the lower worlds of time and space to be mirrors of these upper worlds, since that has failed in eternity. It is changing now to something new. And you are all becoming something new. And we find ourselves hovering above our bodies instantly back on Earth where we live. The sound flowing through the ceiling and the bright golden light of Source itself is moving freely down through this couple from the Galactic Alliance, through the forms they show us, through you, through your body, out through the walls of your home, out into Earth's atmosphere, going off here and off there, as Albert said earlier, charging this and charging that, waking up this and waking up that. Even animals are waking up. Nobody knows this yet. And it connects to 3 pyramids on Earth that have been stationed there for several years now. One is at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, one is at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, one is in a hollowed interior of a mountain in the Himalaya. They have fountains in them with statues of Satnam, and they are devices channeling this transformative energy through Earth into its atmosphere. It's not really charging the atmosphere yet because that's our job. But it's passing through Earth to secure it, and then it's continuing. These 3 pyramids send a beam that joins into one, and then it's beamed to a much larger pyramid, golden-sided, quartz cap. It's hovering stationary between 2 stable asteroids in the massive asteroid field that circles in orbit around the sun between Mars and Jupiter. It was once a planet called Maldek, blew up long ago, destabilized this entire solar system. And then it goes up the galactic core, which is not a black hole. Human eyes just can't see it. It's a white golden shaft of light like the axis. And it is a doorway between higher galaxies and higher realms. And Agam Purusha runs these doorways, generates energy down through them. Silent mentors co-create with him in this way. That goes all the way back to source. So there's a one flow of energy down through us, back to source, and it never stops, like the sign of infinity. The Galactic Alliance couple hovering beside you who have kept your fears turned off for this journey smile at you and disappear. Even from where you are near the ceiling, you can see them getting their bodies, sleeping bodies, up from egg-shaped blue cushioned chairs by oval blue glass top tables aboard the lounge areas of the Emerald Star cruiser station in the ice rings of the planet Saturn. This is how they go with us on these journeys. Spaceships can't go where we went. And we're back. So you can begin to open your eyes and awaken your body. You can turn on your mics. I'll ask you to do that. This is very personal, very intimate, so we're all good. And you can get your mic on. Oh, turn it on again, will you, Albert? Sorry, I accidentally turned it back off. There we go. Now, when we're back here, the point of this is to let this energy move through you, to recover who you are. Your life on Earth, the brain and body you grew up with, doesn't have any of this. Learned none of it. Has no memory of any of it. You can't get it from your brain. It's not there. It comes from the Atma you are that's running that body. This is the primary thing you're waking up to. That comes first. Before anything else can happen. You are not now, nor have you ever been, a physical body. This is a real hard pill to swallow for people on Earth because they have it just backwards. They think they're a body mostly, and they have this thing called soul. They don't know where it is, somewhere. Maybe it's in their back pocket. Maybe it's in the closet. They think it's somewhere else, see? It's backward. Fear does that. Only fear. Any questions? Anything you'd like to discuss about this journey?
It felt good.
Rubbing shoulders with silent mentors has never happened before. Not in any of your other lives, no matter what master teachers you studied under, what Galactic Alliance life you had. This is new. They never did this before. Surprised me too when they started doing this. Showing up at our journeys way up by Satnam, going on them with us. They never did that before. This has to do with creating prototype beings to help carry out administration of running the lower worlds in a different way than they've ever been run. Because beings run it. Planets and moons and galaxies do not spin around themselves and run themselves. No, beings do that. All that stuff in the image behind me doesn't just hold itself there by itself on some kind of natural, automatic, electromagnetic, or uh, atom structured kind of thing bouncing off each other. More advanced races from the stars understand how the energy that is between all those stars, we call the void here, did for many years, how it works, what it does. It's pure, living, conscious energy. And it's mostly what exists out there. Galaxies and planets and dimensions are tiny in all of that. So there's the one power. We're made of that space between the spaces. We always have been. Waking that up is important. I know you all have questions. You just don't know how to formulate them after a trip like that, because it's important that you play this back. It will be public on my YouTube channel. I will send you all the links so you can play it back again. Please do it a second time. When you're having fun with it, wake up refreshed in the morning, had your coffee, whatever you do. Turn off the phones and just kick back and go on it again. And you're going to find out just how much took place here in this one journey in an hour and a half. Much more took place here. Almost more than could take place in one of the guided journeys for the Emerald Doorway. Not just about as much, but we did it in far less time. Why? Because there's only 5 of us. Space and time are an illusion. It's the consciousness of people that go on the journeys that determine its length. I don't do that. So be aware of this. You got to visit Etta Din in present time on Oceana. In the journey we did last night, they got to visit with Etta Din 100,000 years ago, as it was in Oceana. And it hasn't changed much since then. And this is because Ramu had a lot to do with, as a master teacher, to guide us down the past time track, kind of his expertise. This was different. We went to visit with the Drens on Oceana, Pelham's world, in present time. Any questions?
I'll have to replay that. Watch them.
Okay. Vince,
It's
how
like
about you? No, Albert?
it feels like a pleasant dream. It's something like I'm trying to remember, but I just feel like I woke up from a dream.
There you go. That's good. That's what you're supposed to feel like. Now when you go through it the second time, you'll realize just how much you'd experienced on this journey that you haven't yet filtered down into your body on Earth. Because the brain you have there never went on the journey. You did. The brain and body was in this trance state called sleep. They can't go on such journeys. You can. And you can bring that enlightenment back to your life on Earth. That's the whole point. You have to go get energy that's not available on Earth from a place that has no negative nature. Who'd have thought that? And then you bring it back here. Because that's what changes consciousness. Okay. Well, now, excuse me?
Does the mind block when we go on journeys? Try to interfere and block what we're
It's a very, very bad habit of fear, even beyond implants that you've taken with you through billions of years and imparted to every life you've run. It's an old bad habit of not wanting to see higher faculties because at some point in your past you might have blown up a galaxy or a few worlds accidentally and regretted it. And you put a big cap of forgetfulness over higher faculties that you, through naivety, are accidentally misused. We punish ourselves. We're getting over punishing ourselves. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
This is really what we're doing. Because we're meant to be co-creators of that stuff out there. We're not meant to stay just an animal running human bodies. It's just this baby steps. We're meant to become something more. Kind of like a subtle blend of silent mentor and master teacher. Nobody knows what that will be like because it's being created as we go on these journeys. It's being brought into creation by beings way beyond us. silent mentors and master teachers like Trillian and many others. It has to have a place of administration to run the lower worlds differently. That's the U expansion ray plane. I haven't yet taken you there. That's above the silent mentor realm, above the source or prime creator in its own realm. It's only there. There's no negative nature at all in anything in or above the void. So whatever's being created there is done for the benefit of the whole creation and everything in it. This is our nature to think like this. When we bring that down to bodies like a Galactic Alliance citizen in the Galactic Alliance, they grow up as scientists, experimenters, explorers, collectively working with hundreds of billions of beings to make their lives even more than they are. And eventually, now, that has a focus back on Earth for the first time ever. And this is what we're in the middle of experiencing. Transformative change nobody expected and no one will see it coming. But it is underway and it cannot be reversed by anyone or anything on Earth. Fortunately for us. So I want to leave you with a Trillian. And I'll see you next time. Vince, thank you for joining us. Glad to see you here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You okay? You got any questions at all? Don't be shy if you want to ask them.
No, I just I can't say I relate to a lot of these characters that you talk about.
No, that's because that's just because of fears you're still dealing with. They're just beyond your understanding on Earth. So you're not going to comprehend them with your mind on Earth. They're not comprehensible that way. You have to know them as the Atma. There is no other way. It's the Atma that wakes up, not you. You're the body. You're running that body, and what you are wakes up. You can't take that body you have there to the source now, can you?
No.
Can't take it to the void. You can't take it to another dimension. If you're on a spacecraft of the Galactic Alliance, you could take that body you have between parallel dimensions in the physical universe. Physically. But you can't take it into the astral plane. You know about the astral plane, right? Next major dimension up from the physical. You know about it. You have a life you're running there. It's not the same as here. It's a body that you as the Atma are running there. So you can learn the multidimensional nature of creation by direct experience. Waking those forms up to get them to work with each other will be what we'll do on our next trip. We'll go up to the source and we're going to come back down through the etheric, mental, causal, and astral planes again. A Satnam and Trillian kicking your asses to get you aware of each other. So your so-called higher selves are actually doing something. Because generally they're not right now. They're just selfishly living out their lives on these different planes. It's the Atma that's waking up you. What you would call soul, I guess. But it has a structure and a spherical form and an actual purpose, a visual form. And it does, in fact, look like this.
Yeah.
Not like these. This is what soul looks like in its actual form. Round. That's
Beautiful.
why planets and moons and stars and galaxies are round. Galaxies spin, they're all round objects spinning around the center. Every one of them. So when you begin to understand that, you start to think and imagine on a galactic scale, physically. Which is the only way you're ever going to play with beings from other worlds, because that's how they think. And we don't want to be retarded around them, do we? No. Yeah, but the thing about experience is, for Vince and everyone, it's your experience. What you know, you allow yourself to know. When you allow yourself to know it, I can't force that upon anyone, and I don't care to. I can demonstrate truth. I can tell you the truth. I can take you on journeys into truth, but you have to allow yourself to embrace it. You do that. That's your co-creative function as a being from Source. This is what waking up is about. These are journeys based on direct experience, not upon faith or belief or telling you information. That's a waste of time completely. We have to go on the journeys to bring energy back that changes our consciousness. Everyone on the journey already knows their consciousness is changing because they're aware of so much more than they thought was possible.
Yeah, very much.
I am too.
Yeah.
Okay, I wish everybody a
Thank you
great
so
big
much.
Turellian. You
Thank
okay
you.
with me? Vince, are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, you can write to me whenever you want. I can share some hidden truth with you in an email or whatever. And you go on these journeys because you want to. Nobody's compelling you to. Nobody's compelling
Yeah.
anybody to. This is
Things
freedom.
are changing.
Things are changing. Onward
Thank
and
you,
upward,
Scott.
dear friends.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Excellent.
Did we?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we stopped the recording, right?
No,
Oh,
I don't know.
better
No.
do that now.